Fabulous.
All right, wonderful people of Peekskill. Good afternoon. Today is August 24th, 2021. My name is Andre Rainey, and I am the proud mayor of the great city of Peekskill, New York. And I am joined today by our awesome city manager, Mr. Andy Stewart. Andy, good afternoon.
Hey, Mayor, it's great to see you as always.
Likewise, my friend, likewise. As most of you know, for those of you who don't, if this is your first time tuning in, we give weekly updates to inform the community on exactly where the city of Peekskill stands as far as COVID vaccine percentages as well as active cases. But we do try to add some more information on some of the initiatives and things and even policies that the city of Peekskill is going to do or have already done, thanks to the council or other boards. And we also share information from the community as is given to us to present. So that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to our city manager, Mr. Andy, to let us know where we are with COVID.
All right, so our numbers are both good and bad. I said this last week. The number of active cases has been coming up the last few weeks. It's at 50 for as of 2 days ago when Westchester County last published their data on their data portal for the COVID active cases. So we have 50. We have 53 last week. This time there were 46 a week before that, and it's going down to 20 or so a week before that. So the numbers are climbing. And then on the flip side, the other number that's going up, which is a good thing, is the number of vaccinations taking place. We're at 70.4 of the Peekskill residents who are over 12 having at least one shot. And that's bringing us up. We were at 69.1 last week, 63.8 a week or so before that. So we're definitely seeing some improvement. It's great to see people taking advantage of all the convenient ways to get vaccinated, especially with the Delta variant, which is making its way. It's really accounting for some pretty bad situations. Even people who are vaccinated can get sick, and they certainly can pass the virus on to others. So wearing masks in City Hall, we're wearing masks when we're at work, anywhere near anybody else, even if we're already vaccinated.
There you go. And continuously use sanitizer and check your temperature in house. Great. So yeah, Andy, thank you sincerely. Again, we encourage people to please continue to social distance and practice the safety measures. Our next committee of the whole meeting and possibly council meeting, we're going to actually try to set up a city hall meeting where we're all going to be social distance and leading by example, which was brought up last night. So Thanks, Andy, for sharing. Thanks for the information. I want to jump in by saying thank you to the school district again and to the city council. For those of you who were tuned in last night, the city council voted to approve the MOU for the RSO with the Peekskill City School District. And this is a program that's been going on for a couple of years now, but the majority of the community, as well as the families and students, agreed that an SRO was something that was a safety presence of an officer is good for the school district. And I'm really, really thankful that they were able to agree to move forward with this. So thanks to the city council. And for those of you who just want more information on the SRO program and how it's run in the city of Peekskill, you can always check the city school district website, or you can also always contact the chief of police, Chief Donald Harmey, to give you a little bit more information. And the Human Relations Commission is still moving forward with the conversations about the police task force and what the city of Peekskill can do as a unique city to build a communication between the community of the city as well as the local police department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's a couple of new tools on the city website actually for the police. One of the services that we're offering that's new since the police reform process started was that any family can let the police department know online if they have an individual in the family with a mental health disorder, where if the police did come to your house responding to an emergency 911 call or something, it would be better if they knew the family member's situation, a behavioral issue that can be handled in a specialized way. So that's one of the things that comes up with police reform a lot is the need to be able to really be on top of questions of mental health and mental illness and behavioral issues, which could often, unfortunately, turn violent. And it's really important that we have an open line of communication between any family that has an individual whose behavior is erratic or unpredictable, or they just are likely to behave in a way that's hard to manage.
Identify with, yeah, absolutely.
That's a service the police department offers. Folks can sign up for it. It's totally optional, but it's a help for those who can use it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andy. So also, Proud to announce this. I mean, this is what happens. But I'm really, really, really proud to announce that the City Council also approved 6 new volunteer firefighters last night. I really want to thank. I keep saying thank Andy, but it's a must in my opinion. But I want to thank Andy, the fire chiefs, the career and the volunteer guys for their consistent ways of trying to work together to make sure that we have a safe city in the time of need, especially for something as serious as a fire. And to know that we've just been improving and increasing our volunteer firefighters is just it's an amazing feeling for all of us, especially with all of the information that's been out there, whether false or true. It's great to see that we have more people interested in being a volunteer to help keep our city safe. So I'm excited about that. I do want to also mention that last night we approved the sale of a property for the EMS, I believe, to expand their building, which is going to be awesome. But Andy, I mentioned last night, since we're talking about the school district and the firefighters, the principal Rodney Arthur, who was the principal of the Peekskill High School, has resigned. So the city of Peekskill, I want to partner with the youth borough. They've already done it, but I think in the city of Peekskill, we should definitely acknowledge him for his efforts. And Candace Mercado is the first female to be in that position at the EMS. So I'll tell you the exact position is. She's the first female operations line officer for the ambulance corps in Peekskill. At the next common council meeting, we're definitely going to acknowledge the both of them for their work here in the city of Peekskill.
No, it's great to see the services. The school district is really impressive. Dr. Mauricio gave a great presentation.
Absolutely.
And it just, you can see the depth of this community's commitment to the schools is really extraordinary.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I know that Councilman Douglas mentioned something last night that I thought was very important for the community to know. And it's about the Section 8 program. I believe you may have a little bit more information than I do.
So one of the things that we're really trying to do in the face of the expiration of the prohibitions on tenants being evicted, right? Because that's state and federal law, it's expiring. So we're worried about folks losing their homes who have fallen behind on rent. And there's a federal program called the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. The paperwork is a pain, but it offers really substantial benefits for both landlords and tenants. And our Section 8 office, headed by Jessica Gannis, is stepping up, and they're running workshops every Tuesday and Thursday through October 28th. For anybody who, if you've experienced if you've been unable to pay your rent during the pandemic, like going back to March 2020 until now, you can get help with that. And landlords can get help as well. Landlords and tenants work together to complete paperwork and submit for funding. It's a really important program. It's funded really well by the state and federal government, but very few people are actually accessing it. Partly, I think, because the paperwork is a pain. That's why our city staff are going to be there with computers, helping people collect their documents and get their applications in, so that if you're eligible for funding to the program, that you actually get the money.
Nice.
You can sign up on the Section 8 website. It has appointments. You can sign up for an appointment online. It's by appointment because it takes a little bit of time to go through papers. The program, again, is Tuesdays and Thursday evenings from 4 to 8 p.m. through October 28th. That's starting this Thursday. So the phone number is 914-734-4216. That's 734-4216. And it's just really important that anybody who's experienced difficulty, who's gotten behind on their rent, take advantage of this program.
Absolutely. And I'm very thankful for the Section 8 team, Ms. Gannis and her team down there for doing this and just thinking of creative ways outside of the box to help people, especially during these challenging times.
Yeah, they'll also pay for overdue utility bills. So everybody knows Con Ed is not cheap. So if you're behind on utility bills during the pandemic, and you can also qualify for funding. So we want to help get that money coming into Peekskill and people who need it. So please take advantage of that program. The information's on our Facebook page, by the way. Like all kind of breaking information is programmatic. It's on the Facebook page the city maintains.
Awesome. So one more thing that I definitely wanted to mention to the community was we passed a resolution last night. It was resolution J30. So if you happen to watch the council meeting, it's actually the last resolution on the meeting. to donate city-owned property to the Peekskill Housing Authority in order to help assist with their expansion of the Kylie Youth Center. As many of you know, there's going to be about $3.5 to $4 million of capital improvements going into the Kylie Youth Center. As many of you may know, the Boys and Girls Club is also coming to the Kylie Youth Center to expand, not only expand the building, but expand the programming. So I just want to clarify for the people out there who are watching who may not know what expanding means. By that, that means that there's programs that are actually there at the Kylie Center now. The Boys and Girls Club are coming to expand, to increase, or to improve and increase these programming. So, for example, there's a basketball program at the Kylie Center currently on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as Saturdays. The Boys and Girls Club is going to partner with the Kylie Youth Center staff and help create a better, I guess, a better version or upgraded version of the programming there. So I know there's a lot of conversations about programming being discontinued or programs no longer going to exist, and just a bunch of false information. Expand means to make greater, make bigger, make better. So this may even be a better basketball program than I think possibly that we really know. So I'm looking forward to that. But again, I want to thank the Housing Authority. I want to thank the Housing Board. I want to thank the Boys and Girls Club, the city manager, team and staff, the council, and everybody who's supporting this process as we look forward to giving our children a state-of-the-art building in which they deserve in the city of Peekskill.
Yeah, that's taken a lot of work by a lot of folks to move that forward, but substantial amounts of funding from New York State through the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, as well as the county and the Boys and Girls Club itself and the city all coming together to create a really amazing project over there.
Absolutely. So that's all on my end. And you got anything you want to share? Is any questions online that we can answer or address?
We can cut over to questions if you'd like. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, please.
Let's see.
I'm going to try to check on my phone now so I can see them as well.
Question from Mr. Landards. Why hasn't Peekskill decided to opt out of the marijuana? Opting out can be reversed in the future once regulations and guidelines are in place. Probably a good idea to look to Yorktown as the adults in northern Westchester.
Why haven't we opted out? Is this this is the same thing we spoke about with the survey, correct?
Yeah, it comes up pretty frequently. The city is running as folks know, as background, the state legalized recreational marijuana and dispensaries, which are like little stores, but cities can refuse to have dispensaries if the city council so chooses, and that decision remains for the city council to make. To support that decision making, we've had an online survey running. There's up to about 900 responses now. They're running about 2/3 or so, 60-70% for having the dispensaries and about 30-35% against. The numbers are a little more against having actually these smoking lounge type places, just a little bit more. But overall, the population of the Peekskill city residents who responded to this survey favor having the dispensaries and the lounges.
Yes, and we've yeah. In addition to that, we've gotten a lot of emails and a lot of people just reaching out, especially to myself, but to different members of the council, I'm sure, just stating their support for it. So that's a major reason why the city hasn't opted out, because it seems like not only people actually contributed their voices, but a lot of people seem to be in favor of it. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, we will have a workshop on that in the fall, so the city council can render a final decision. That's the only question there right now. I wanted to mention just a couple of things going on. Like, for example, on the 13th, first of all, our normal council of the whole meeting is switching from the 9th to the 8th for next week. So folks, just a heads up, the city council is meeting on September 8th, not the 9th, due to a conflict in the schedule. On the 13th, there'll be a public hearing on the proposal for prohibiting any kind of smoking in public parks. The cigarettes, vapes, marijuana, whatever you got that qualifies as smoking would be prohibited from parks. Virtually every community has prohibited smoking in the parks, and there's been a good, healthy discussion in the city council on this, and a draft law has been put together, and it'll be subject to the public hearing on the 13th. We really invite the public to come out and let us know. Public really does let us know. Last night, the city council heard a lot of support for regulating tree cutting down, like tree permits, and that was a welcome bunch of public comments about the idea of having a permit for tree removal. So these are some of the policy issues the city council is working on right now.
Absolutely.
I just want to say, just on the topic of trees, Mayor, you know, I love trees. A lot of people love trees. There's a lot of trees that were cut down in the city in years past and were never replaced. And last night, the city council adopted a resolution accepting a donation of trees from the Manzers Landscaping Company, Chapter Manzer, who's going to donate 11 trees going up North Division Street towards Monument Park, which were just empty tree pits with tree trunks in them for I don't know how long. And so we're really excited to get that project going. Fortunately, the Teamsters, our local union, have agreed to allow a contractor to work on trees in the city. So we'll be able to do that with his help, and perhaps others as well, as we go to look at rendering, providing solutions to all these empty tree pits. We've made a map of them. They're all over the downtown area where trees have been removed and never been replaced in past years. So we're very hopeful that we'll move that forward. I know we have a lot of support in the community. The shade that trees bring, the beauty, makes it a really nice place to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thanks to K. Bartholomew's and the CAC and Jessica Youngblood and everybody that really, really helped push this. They said it's been in conversations for almost a decade. So to see it finally come to fruition is amazing.
Yeah, virtually every community out there has some kind of permit process if you're going to cut down a tree on your property. Just in our proposed law provides for replacement trees and sort of fees related to that. Prevents people from cutting down a lot of trees at the same time, things like that. So I think we're heading in the right direction on that.
Good. Do we have any other questions up there?
Let's take a look. Sorry, I have to switch back and forth here. Okay.
No, sorry. All right. I can actually see opting in cannot be reversed. Opting out. In place. Why the rush? I guess it's the same answer that we've already said.
Yeah, Mr. Landry's concerned about the time frame for decision making on this dispensary question. So, but we'll take it up in the next month, and maybe we'll draw that survey to a close and make a final decision about it. So folks have a chance to find out long before December 31st, which is the deadline for the city.
Right. And he said, I'm reading now, opting in cannot be reversed, but opting out can be reversed once the rules are in place.
Right.
So if the majority of the community wants to opt in, I don't really know if that would be a good idea to go against what everybody wants, just to go back to what everybody wants later. But that's also part of the reason why we put the survey out. For those of people who cannot do the survey online, we also have there's still papers that people can come to City Hall and actually fill the survey out. Correct? Am I correct, Andy?
Right. Yep. There's paper version available. Very, very few people have used it, unfortunately. It turns out that really most people prefer it online and can get access to it that way.
Well, it's convenient. You don't, it's in early 2000s, maybe you had to be like at home to be online, but literally you keep your cell phone almost everywhere you go. At least for the most part, most people do. So you can literally just pick up your phone and look at it, and so it's the convenience of just having online with you everywhere you go, literally. So
I'm just addressing Ms. Lopez asked the question, when will the Paramount Theater be renovated? So the Paramount Theater will be the recipient of state funding through the Downtown Revitalization Initiative to the tune of $1 million or so. The city is also applying for state grants that will also be added into the renovation funds. And all of that will take place in the next year. As far as the state money, we don't have contracts yet, so we can't start pushing those projects ahead until there's actual funding contracts in place.
Right.
Most of that state money is actually going to the organization which currently has a lease on the theater. So a lot of that will involve cooperation between the city, which owns the building, and the tenants who've gotten the state funding to do improvements on the building. And in the meantime, we have some shorter term fixes we need to do to the roof and some features of the building that just need to be kept, keep the rain out, essentially.
Absolutely, yeah. And they've been having a lot of shows. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but they've started doing shows and events there again too. So I encourage people to please support. Come check them out if you're available.
Yep. Speaking of events, there's been a lot of great stuff going on in the city recently. Unfortunately, the Jazz in the Park was rained out this past weekend, but there's more good stuff coming up. On the 10th of September, there's the final outdoor movie, the family movie night put on by Recreation Department. It's called Playing with Fire, and it's sponsored by the Police and Fire 5K Foundation. These are folks who organize the 5K race, which is a charitable race, running race that's taking place on September 11th. Also on September 11th, Ray Blue and the Cross Cultural Connection are planning a concert in Pugsley Park from 12:30 to 2. That's on a Saturday. It kind of coincides with the farmers market, which is really nice for folks. Grab yourself a little picnic and come over to the park and enjoy some absolutely fabulous music.
Mm-hmm.
I want to mention as well that the clerk is having her Saturday morning hours this Saturday on the 28th, and that she's open from 9 till noon for any paperwork anybody needs to do. Just call the clerk, ideally make an appointment so that they know you're coming and they'll let you in.
Absolutely.
There's a back to school knapsack and school supplies giveaway taking place on the 26th, organized by the Youth Bureau.
Volunteers are welcomed and wanted. If you want to volunteer to help, you are welcomed and wanted. You can contact our Youth Bureau Director, Mrs. Tuesday McDonald, at tmcdonald@cityofpeekskill.com. That's tmcdonald@cityofpeekskill.com. Volunteers are always wanted, welcomed, and appreciated.
They need the help because there's been a great response. There are a lot of knapsacks, a lot of school supplies to organize and hand out. So that's great to see. So that's just a couple of things I want to say. On Friday night, there was a wonderful concert on Esther Street. I forget the name of the band, but they were just amazing. And it was just so great to see people enjoying, people getting up, dancing, line dancing, enjoying some food at the Bean Runner or just sitting at the picnic table and just catching the music. It's just beautiful. It's great to see that street really come alive on a Friday night.
Perfect. Yeah.
Those are our main topics for right now, I think, unless you have anything else you want to talk about, Mayor.
No, that was it. I'm just gonna show that information to you about Principal Arthur. I'll send it to Deborah. She does a phenomenal job at making these proclamations. The clerks team, they do a phenomenal job. So we definitely want to recognize them and acknowledge them. And just mention that this I think it's this Friday. I'm gonna check my on this road. I can't even check, but I believe the Youth Bureau is having something for Principal Arthur. I want to say the 26th or Friday. But we should definitely make sure we get the word out so people can come out and support him and show their appreciation to his work for the school district. As people may or may not know, since his tenure as a principal, the school district's graduation percentage went up about 20%. It's been I think the record says it was the highest it's been in almost 20 plus years. So it went from about 63% to about 82% graduation rate in the city of Peekskill. So he's going to definitely be missed.
That's progress for sure.
Beyond it.
Great.
But other than that, that's all I have for today. Andy, are you all good on your end?
Thank you very much, Mayor. It's great talking with you.
Absolutely. Have a great afternoon. Everybody in the city of Peekskill, thank you for making Peekskill one of the greatest cities on earth. Peace and love.
Absolutely. All right. Bye-bye now.